There is someone in your workplace right now who is systematically undermining you, and you probably think they're your friend. They ask about your weekend. They remember your kid's name. They tell you things in confidence and make you feel like you're on the inside. And every single one of those moves is tactical. Because the most dangerous person in any organization is not the openly hostile one. It's the one you never see coming. This video will teach you to spot the 3 types of corporate operators before they spot you. Office politics is not a personality flaw in a few bad actors. It's a predictable system. In any organization above 50 people, a small percentage will systematically manage information, relationships, and narrative to advance themselves, often at your expense. These people are not random. They follow patterns. And once you understand the 3 operator types, you stop being confused about why certain people advance while others stall. You stop rationalizing their behavior as just how they are, and you stop being a target. Here are the 3 corporate snakes, and exactly how to neutralize each one. Operator 1 is the collector. The collector's weapon is information, specifically the information you give them when you're frustrated, venting, or feeling insecure. Here's how the collector operates. They position themselves as the safest person in the office. They're warm. They're validating. They say things like, "You can tell me anything," and "This stays between us." They make you feel seen in a place where you feel invisible. But the collector never vents back. Notice that. You share your frustrations about leadership. They nod. You share your doubts about a project. They nod. You share your real opinion about a colleague. They nod and then say nothing about themselves. Why? Because they are not your friend. They are a repository. Every vulnerability you share becomes a data point. They do not use it tomorrow. They accumulate it. And when the moment serves them, a promotion decision, a restructuring, a conflict, they quietly deploy it, not as an attack, as an observation. "I'm concerned about Sarah. She's been expressing a lot of frustration with leadership. I worry she's not fully bought in." The collector doesn't destroy you. They flag you, and someone else removes you. The safest person in the office is often the most dangerous. How to neutralize the collector. Stop giving them new material. When they ask how you're doing, give them surface. "Busy. Project's going well." Then flip it. "How about you? What's keeping you up at night?" They will deflect. That deflection is the confirmation. Now you know. Operator 2 is the narrator, and the narrator is more dangerous than the collector because they don't just gather information, they shape how it's perceived. The narrator's signature move is the subtle reframe. You present an idea in a meeting. It lands well. Later, the narrator has a side conversation with your boss. "Great idea from Mark. Definitely ambitious. I'm just thinking through whether the timeline is realistic, given where the team is right now." They haven't disagreed with you. They've reframed your ambition as impracticality, your strength as a liability. The narrator never attacks you directly. They narrate you. They control the story other people tell themselves about your work, your judgment, your reliability. And they do it through one-on-one conversations where there are no witnesses. The narrator is often the person who positions themselves as just trying to help, or playing devil's advocate. They are never the person saying the negative thing in the room. They are the person saying it in the hallway afterward. They don't attack you. They narrate you. How to neutralize the narrator. Force transparency. After any important meeting, send a summary email to everyone. "Great discussion today. Here's what I'm taking forward and why." The narrator thrives in the gap between what happened and what people remember. Close the gap. When they can't operate in the shadows, they become visible. And visible narrators lose their power instantly. Subscribe now. Every week, we break down one framework that gives you an unfair advantage at work. The kind of operational intelligence most people pay consultants for. Hit subscribe. Operator 3 is the chameleon, and this is the one even experienced professionals miss. The chameleon's defining trait is adaptive loyalty. They have no fixed position. They align with whoever currently holds power in the room. When leadership changes, the chameleon's opinions change. When a new executive arrives, the chameleon suddenly sounds like that executive. Here's the psychological blind spot the chameleon exploits: consistency bias. We assume that people who were loyal to the previous leader are loyal to the previous leader's vision, and are therefore a threat to the new order. The chameleon knows the opposite is true. The person most eager to prove loyalty to the new leader is the one who was most loyal to the old one. The signal is this: the chameleon never defends anyone who's lost power. Not once. When a colleague gets sidelined, the chameleon doesn't say, "That's unfair," even privately. They distance instantly. Because the chameleon's identity is not values or expertise, it's proximity to power. They don't have values, they have positioning. How to neutralize the chameleon? Test for principles, not opinions. Ask, what's a leadership decision you genuinely disagreed with in the last year? The chameleon cannot answer this question honestly, because honesty requires taking a position that might alienate someone. A real colleague can. Watch who can answer and who can't. Here's your operator field guide. The collector. Warm, validating, never vulnerable. Neutralize them by giving surface and asking questions. The narrator. Never attacks directly, controls the story in private. Neutralize them with transparency. Document everything. The chameleon adapts to power, never defends the fallen. Neutralize them by testing for principles they'll stand behind when it costs them something. Here's what nobody tells you about office politics. The operators succeed because most people refuse to believe they exist. You rationalize the behavior. You assume good intent. You tell yourself you're above politics. That's exactly the posture they exploit. The person who says, "I don't play politics," is not above the game. They're just the easiest person to play it against. On Thursday, this channel is releasing a video on the psychology of power, specifically why certain people walk into any room and instantly command attention, while equally talented people are overlooked. It's the counter move to everything we just covered.